What's up, everyone? I'm back. Just realized I really need to get a green screen so you can stop seeing my messy fucking room.
It is
blame
pretty
Mike.
messy. It is pretty. When I come over there and pee on your shit, I didn't do that.
Nope. I blame you because we don't have the studio anymore. That's why.
Oh, I could give you a few other people to blame, but yeah, it all comes down to me. I mean, we really want to split hairs. I could give you a few other people, but yeah.
Well, I know it wasn't on purpose.
It wasn't. But you know what? The days of the studio will always be remembered in great fashion. We still have pictures and videos and memories.
Our studio's in Mike's basement now. I'm gonna come over there.
Well, you did do the show out of here one evening, and I thought it went really well. You had a good background. You sat at the bar and did the show.
I might do that more, actually. We could do like the comedy shows do, like on the TikTok now, where people sit on the couch and have the mic in front of them and they talk.
Yeah, a lot of people do. I mean, I'll tell you what, if there was a place to be a chill area to do that, the basement down here is pretty darn good for that ambiance.
My room's really not that messy. That blind behind me that's all fucked up was because of my ex-girlfriend's dog. So
it's not messy. It's very apartment-esque bland, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean,
colors.
You don't even have, you just have blinds on the windows. You don't have curtains or anything. It is very man. Yeah. A man lives here. It's an apartment.
Curtains.
And you just have things.
Did you have curtains?
Dude, when I first was living in apartments, my curtains were either sheets that were thumbtacked to the wall to cover it, or I just didn't have anything at all. It was one or the other.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I mean, you got to pick and choose your battles, right? So, fuck it. I'm just gonna have, Mike gave me a green screen, but it's just kind of too small. I can't figure it out. I'll figure it out one of these
You can't
times.
figure it out?
Well, I can, but it's just kind of too small. But with football season ending, I'm gonna have a lot more time on my hands to focus on digging it deep. So
I know this isn't birds deep, but I mean, starting in South Jersey and towards Philly, just every street corner is somebody selling some kind of Eagles merch right now. I went by a 7-Eleven.
It's time to jump on it.
In their parking lot, everything is what is this saying? It's a Philly thing. It's just crazy. We went to Friendly's. Today is Laura's birthday. Happy birthday, baby. Today is Laura's
birthday, Laura.
Yeah.
So you went to Friendly's?
She is 35.
Did you get her the Tutti Frutti?
Well, I did not get her the Tutti Frutti, but we did go to Friendly's because she wanted the ice cream, but also the kids could enjoy it. But in the grab machine in the lobby area of the Friendly's, just stacked, filled with T-shirts, and every grab, if you got it right, was a winner. People were walking out of there with like just whole handfuls of T-shirts. I got like 7 upstairs of the "It's a Philly Thing" T-shirts. It's everywhere. Wow. Yeah.
Well, that's a lot.
No,
it's a lot. They'll be floating around for years.
It's getting wild out there.
See, I really don't buy many T-shirts and stuff until after the Super Bowl and they win it, because if they don't win it, that damn "It's a Philly thing" is gonna just be like remind me of losing. So, yeah.
I hear you, but it's also fun. I understand the hype thing, and it's fun to get on the hype and support and wear your T-shirt, and it's a community thing. So I get it and I understand it.
I do. The show is on Tuesdays now. Tuesdays.
Yes.
So it has switched up. You are not seeing double
for the live stream of the show. Any other day,
live stream,
you can listen from any podcast. Podcast getter, podcast.
If you're only available on Thursday, it will
on any Tuesday night or Wednesday morning, respectfully.
It will be available on Thursday. So a lot of interesting shit going on. You ever have I was thinking about shitty friends today.
Ooh, I don't like
And
to
what I
think
mean
about
by
shitty
shitty friend,
friends.
yeah, like
Shitty
you ever
friends are
have that
shitty.
shitty who I don't usually have shitty friends, really. I don't.
No, I distance
I'm a man.
myself
I'm
from
a rich
shitty
man.
friends.
So it's sneaky shitty though. I'll give you an example.
Okay?
You have that friend that never wants to pay, or he owes you and he's late all the time, has an
No,
excuse,
don't have
and you
that.
know he has the money. You see him spending it on social media,
Mm-hmm.
but he's only doing it,
Mm-hmm.
or she, but in my specific example, he is because he thinks that he has that leeway with you. Because a shitty friend will take advantage of their friend and not pay them what they owe them first
Well,
because they think that they could just, take advantage of them that way.
well,
And
back up a little
sometimes,
bit. Back
what?
up.
Okay, people think silence is acceptance.
What if you have an amazing friend who lends you a good amount of money and he says to you, sincerely, pay me back when you can. I don't care how long it takes you. You pay me
That's
back when you
different.
can. And yes, you
That's
do
different.
have the money you've gotten back on your feet, but you still take a little bit of extra time to pay off. But you do
That's
pay it
different.
off. Okay. I want to make sure I'm
I
not a
tend
shitty
not to lend
friend.
money to friends unless I really, really trust them because I don't want anything between us,
Mm.
or something comes up.
I, and
Someone
I,
said if you're gonna lend friends money, be prepared to end up giving it to them, possibly.
and I
Right?
tend to not like to borrow money from friends or anyone because of the reason that it could cause a lot
All
of
right.
problems within the
Let's
friendship.
change the setting here. Let's say it's rent,
Yeah,
and rent is due on a certain date.
that's what I borrowed.
Okay, but let's say, but you paid the rent though. You
Paid
borrowed the
the
money
rent.
to pay the rent on
Yes,
time.
yes, yes.
Correct. Okay,
I
so
was
you
going to
paid
be
rent
living
on
in my
time.
car. Why are you bringing up these
All right.
bad memories? You piece of shit.
Well, you're not the person I'm talking about.
You piece of
So
shit.
someone will say, I can't afford my rent. Hey, I need some more time, but they're out fucking getting it in. They make
Ew.
enough money when taking their girl out, doing all kinds of stuff. And you say to yourself, like, does this guy, I guess he thinks I'm a jerk off, acting like they're poor. Or my favorite is when someone has money,
Yeah.
but they don't want to move their money around. They have
Right.
money going to loans
They
or
don't want to take their money out of
stocks.
savings
Yeah,
account or what have you. Yeah.
but they want to lean on you for the money and make you wait. In this example, to pay rent.
Well, that's
That's
100%
pretty
different.
shitty.
Yes.
Yeah. So I know a few people like that, and then when they talk to me, they wonder why I'm a dick to them,
Uh huh.
and that's why, because you're treating me like a fucking jerk off.
Right.
And to me, that is an asshole move. If you're going to do that when you really have the money, because that's not what you do to friends. I'm just saying. Now, I rather me personally, if someone was going through a hard time, it's not up to me to figure out if you're going through a hard time. It's up to you to tell me. And then I'll say, hey, totally get it. You know what I mean? But if you dodge me like a bill collector, then I'm going to get pissed. And
Yeah.
I just think that's shitty. I know people like that will be like, oh yeah, I really no, you do have the money, motherfucker. You just don't want to inconvenience yourself. Fuck you. You know what I mean?
That's a totally
And
different story. We
yeah,
know
that kind of
if it's the type of friend that we would lend money to, then we already know that they're kind of down and out by that point usually.
or if you're the type of friend that you say you owe someone something for a service and then you disappear, odds are you probably have bad credit. You know who I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you forgot. Oh, you forgot about that. Oh, I see. I see. You know, see, I can't be like that because I'll see things on social media from that person. I'm like, wow, that looks like rent money, or that looks like utility bill money. Wow, that's a nice lobster. That looks like a gas bill.
Oh, look, that person got an Xbox. Oh, that's nice.
Oh wow, that's a nice Xbox. I would enjoy Xbox. Wow. Did you get the monthly subscription? That is amazing. That kind of shit makes me laugh. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, that's cool. Um, I don't know. I consider that shittiness. That is
I love
very, very
I've
shitty.
this is kind of on the same plane of what you're talking about, but totally not. I love these commercials that have this whole idea of get your money sooner. We'll pay you your paycheck or $500, 5 days before you get your paycheck. And these people, you're just paying them back with
Dave,
interest
it's called
and
Dave, right?
paying more money. And it's just like, just so you can get your money a little earlier. It's just,
Yeah, your payday loans.
yeah,
I'm gonna
it's
start saying
hilarious
that.
to
Like,
me.
go, you know what? Go get the Dave app. Okay, isn't that what it's called?
There's a
Dave or
bunch
something
of
like
them
that?
nowadays. I'm sure that that's one of them.
Yeah. That's when you know you're in a bad way. Because listen, at the end of the day, the reason why you're in that position is because 9 times out of 10, you're doing something you shouldn't be doing.
Oh yeah,
You're letting it affect you, and then you don't wanna pay the price for your actions, so then you lean on someone else. That's a piece of shit move.
my
We all
buddy
make
used
mistakes.
my buddy used to bust my balls because I borrowed money from him, and then like the next weekend I was drinking beer, and he's like, "You got money for beer?" I'm depressed, motherfucker.
Yeah, right? My neighbors demand I have curtains because I walk around the house naked. I would demand that too, Brad, if I was your neighbor. Sorry. Not sorry.
I would demand that you do not have curtains.
Yeah.
I,
I don't
I'll
wanna know if
cut.
the carpet matches the drapes for
Yeah,
Brad.
I want to see what you're working with.
Yeah, okay. I wanna see what you're working with. Mike's
I want to see if the
Mike when
hype is
Mike
real.
when Mike moves into a neighborhood, he'll ask the real estate agent, like, "Hey, how does the neighborhood feel about curtains around here?
I want to see if the
Are
Brad
they
hype is real.
are they are they pro curtain or are they anti curtain?" Well, no, seriously. Are they pro curtain? You get what I'm saying? No. Okay. And when the thing is when you know someone's lying to you, you know they're lying to you, and you're just there and you're like, "Man, you really think?" In my head, I'm like, "You really think I'm a jerk off, don't you? You really think I'm a jerk off? You think I'm a fucking clown that you could just lie to and say bullshit to, right? Think I'm your girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever. No. Like, that
Uh huh.
kind of shit doesn't fly with me.
Right.
Especially when I know you do it. Like, if, like, I know you're trying to be, you go Big Willie style with your girlfriend and you owe your part of rent.
Yeah.
Mm, nah, man. Because to me, there's all of different kinds of income levels. But for me, the number one bill is always the rent.
Mhm.
Number one.
Well, that's
Above
why you gotta
car,
get. That's
above phone, above internet, TV, it's always the rent
why you gotta get
or
yourself a sugar
mortgage.
mama like me.
Yeah, yeah, oh, yeah, yeah, that's good. You did get a sugar mama. Good for you, dude.
Yeah.
It's about time you didn't fuck something up. No, I'm just joking. So, there's all kinds of craziness going on lately,
Yeah.
in the world. There's balloons, there's TikTok, there's, more spy balloons. Balloon Knots, Netflix. Netflix is a funny one to me because we were talking about that on here about Netflix, what's gonna happen, and it looks like Netflix is like, "Oh, I was just kidding. Just kidding. It was a funny. I made a joke. I'm just kidding." This is updated as of, 4 hours ago. That was Netflix's reaction to, their stock dropping because of it and, the passwords getting shared, so they had to cancel. So Netflix says it's
Stop
updated.
sharing passwords and pay for your own shit.
Well, guess what, Mike? You said that would matter or it wouldn't affect it, and you were wrong
I
because
am.
this is the problem.
Mm,
Listen, the market will decide. You know why people aren't paying for it? I think if it was another service and they felt like Netflix was better, they would pay for it. But that's the problem. Netflix isn't that good anymore.
if it's not that good anymore, then cancel it. Get rid of
That's
it.
what people are
Don't
doing.
watch it.
That's what people are doing.
But
That's
don't
what they're
bitch.
doing.
But don't bitch about the fact that Netflix is
They're not
stopping
bitching. They're
password
just getting rid of it.
sharing.
Listen,
No,
if you
because this whole
if you
story
pay
is
the premium
about
plan,
stop. This whole
No, that's not what
story
it's about.
is about the fact that Netflix is saying they were canceling, stopping people from password sharing. And a little
Other
hiccup.
services aren't doing it.
What's
And the reason why is because when you even pay for the bigger plan, like, listen, if you want to give them an option to pay more, right? But they're trying to increase subscriber growth through that way. And the simple truth is not everybody really watches it. I have a Netflix account that's free. I don't even pay for it. It's through my phone service. I don't
okay?
even watch Netflix.
All right.
I don't even watch it. Some people don't even really watch it. So some people will buy the big plan on Netflix and then have their kid on college on it.
Look,
Probably
here,
not a big deal. So now do you want them to pay for another one? And they're going to say, well, since the world of streaming is more competitive these days, Netflix isn't the only game in town. I'll go buy another service that I'll be more satisfied with.
good.
So, intense backlash surrounding what appeared to be the first signs of the company's upcoming password sharing crackdown. Clarified, no official announcements have been made outside of the current test countries. See, they floated it out there and it got thrown in their face. For a brief time last Tuesday, a Help Center article containing information that was only applicable to Chile, Costa Rica, and Peru went live in other countries. So we have since updated it. So they tried to sneak it in the Help Center article on the website and people sniffed it out. Last week's updates appeared to show the company will require users to identify a primary location for all accounts that live within the same household. Now, I'm going to give you an option here or an example. I have just subscribed to YouTube TV, right? With YouTube TV, you can have three simultaneous streams, right? But if you upgrade to their 4K plus package, you can have 3 at home and unlimited streams at home, 3 outside of your home and unlimited streams inside your home. So there is an option there if you want to use it that much. But, it's all about giving them choice, and they're biting the big one on it because they're getting scared. And users, so this is what it would do. Last week's update appeared to show the company will require users to identify a primary location for all accounts that live within the same household. News, which had users suggesting that it would be a bridge too far and threatening to leave the platform as a result. Users would need to sign into the home Wi-Fi of the primary location at least once every 31 days to ensure their device is not blocked. Temporary codes would need to be used for traveling members, which would only remain valid for 7 consecutive days. Netflix said it would use information such as IP addresses, device IDs, and account activity to determine whether a device signed in the account is connected to the primary location. In a recent survey, investment firm Jefferies highlighted concerns surrounding the company's crackdown on password sharing. So, investment firm here, particularly among the account freeloaders that Netflix hopes to convert. So, it is because they want people, they look at a user on there, like, look at all these users. See, but this is why this is flawed. It could be a dormant user. It could be someone that, like me, who never watches Netflix and they have their profile on that platform and hasn't watched one. So my question is, are they doing that based off active users or people that are just users on the account and saying how many are on there? So only 10% of those polled said they were moved. Only 10% of those polled, said they would move to create their own account for $9.99 a month. Into password borrowers don't see enough value in the platform. The survey also suggested competitors could greatly benefit from that Netflix crackdown. Some 35% of the respondents said they could replace Netflix with another service, while another 31% added they don't enjoy the content enough to justify paying for it. When asked which platform users will more frequently if they eliminated Netflix, top streaming alternatives included Amazon Prime. Half the country has Prime. So they're paying for it, but they're not paying for it. You see how that works? They're getting something else. They're giving them value. Hulu, 35%, and Disney Plus at 26%. Now, Hulu and Disney Plus are the same company, and they bundle it a lot together. Disney provides value because there's a whole culture subset that's a fan of Disney. So, families will watch it for content, things of that nature. not surprising. So, because you can only put your eyes on so many services. So, Mike, I understand what you're saying about pay for what you want to use. And my thing is, we've talked about this. I use streaming services all the time, but I'm very diligent about canceling them when I'm not watching them. If I know there's something specific on a streaming service I want to watch, I will watch that service, pay for it, and then cancel it when I'm done with it. I have a core base streaming service. I use the YouTube TV. Sometimes I'll pay for HBO Max for the whole year because it has content I want to watch. And Netflix is about 4 years too late on this. They should have did this when they were the only game in town. Now, it's a bad move. Are you still there?
I'm here. I'm letting you do your thing.
Don't say anything if you like dicks. Because I mean, here's the thing.
Everything that
if you use,
good.
Go ahead.
Everything
my
that
thing
you
is
said.
this.
Go ahead. Your thing is,
if you're going to use it, pay for it, right? I have no problem with that. But they should have. They're just late to the game on this. They should have did it when they were the only game in town. Now there's so many streaming services. People have pulled back content from Netflix so they can put it on their streaming service. It's a bad move, and it's a guy I could tell in leadership that has no clue. They're going to lose money.
It's not a good thing to do when you're the only game in town, because just like a band who's trying to get known worldwide, Metallica when Napster was out was pissed off that people were stealing their music. But all the local bands and all the bands trying to make it as big as Metallica and all the bands that were only really popular either on the East Coast or West Coast or in their local neighborhood, they were ecstatic that people were downloading their music and taking their music, and they were ecstatic that their music could be on a platform that could be worldwide and stolen.
Metallica was a bunch of old fucking fogies with that.
But what I'm saying,
when they came up, you know what they did?
What?
They traded cassettes because it was ancient times.
Right.
It was like, yo, dude, did you hear that new Metallica song? I'll trade you a cassette.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. When you're trying to grow and expand and get people hooked to your service and what you have to offer, yes, you don't give a damn about sharing this and sharing that because you're trying to grow bigger. It's only when you've gotten to a certain point where you're like, okay, we've got to cut this off. We've got to stop. There's the whole drug dealer market way of doing things. You give somebody a free sample once, twice, and they're hooked. It's the same exact thing.
So it's like crack. Is that what you're saying?
But
it's like crack?
Kind of. But my whole thing is 100%. I don't give a damn if it's Netflix, any other streaming service, music, movies, television shows, video games. Pay for it. Stop being a freeloader and freeloading.
So you're against pirating.
Stop using other people's shit. If it is that good.
Mike, they're not doing anything wrong. They were already letting them do it. So you're acting like they're stealing. They're not stealing. This is what they said they were allowed to do when they fucking signed up.
Was it that they were letting them do it? It was that they were looking the other way or not aggressively.
No, it wasn't in their user guidelines that you're not allowed to use your password.
If they found out that somebody was doing it, if they actually was in their face, somebody's blatant, they stopped it. They would. They're now they weren't aggressively tackling it.
Netflix is trying to get more subscribers. What you said about wanting more people on your platform, and that's why you didn't want to jack prices in the beginning, you use that same analogy with wanting more people on your platform so you could produce original content for them to watch, and you have more viewers on your eyes. You're more valuable as a platform if you say, hey, I have 100 million subscribers versus 40 million, and your distribution is wider. Therefore, you have more money, and you're able to produce more content. My problem is, it wasn't something that people are doing. Like, this isn't comparable to, like, all right, so if you had Cody and you're getting shipped for free, I'm 100% okay with them canceling that and taking that down. IPTV, where people pay for that illegally, I'm 100% okay with them doing that. Because here's the reality of things. We like entertainment. We like new shows. Well, if you don't fucking pay for it, it won't exist, right? So there's that part of it. So Metallica was partially right. But I do think that you should pay it if you want to watch it. Like, I got YouTube TV and I like Vice. I like the channel Vice. They don't have it. So I
Right.
said to myself, "What shows do I like on there?" Dark Side of the Ring, Vice News. I looked up, okay, there's other ways to watch it, and when Dark Side of the Ring comes on, there's a streaming service I could buy for $7 and I'll watch it, right? That's simple, and that's how you have to manage it. Peacock is now they were giving you a free service, and they have taken it away, and I'm totally okay with Peacock doing that because it's a free service. Now, if you have Xfinity, you get the premium Peacock for free, not the cock, the Peacock, and that's part of your cable service. Or you could buy it as a standalone, but you can't have the free Peacock service now with ads, and I'm totally okay with that. That's fine with me because if you want the premium service, you'll have to pay for it. No problem. Paramount TV, all that stuff. But Netflix is coming in late because they're trying to stop the bleeding that's already begun because they're not the same game in town. It's one thing to me if someone goes, "Hey, you can't do this anymore because this was in our terms of service. We said you weren't allowed to do it." That wasn't the case. They tried to sneak it in their terms of service and they were caught, and then they were called out for it. And I remember reading this article on this show when they said they were gonna launch this in other countries, and I said it will fucking backfire, and they're running scared now, and they won't have the balls to do it because they're running scared in the investor room because they know when all they're trying to do is get more subscriber growth. I've seen this strategy before at companies. I worked for AT&T, right? And one of my favorite stories to tell is I was sitting in a sales meeting and I almost laughed out loud. It was our regional VP. He says, "Listen, with these iPhones," and this is before there was like 5G, right? And the iPhone changed the way you would get on the internet. And they talked about how much bandwidth these phones use. And he said, "Well, we're running out of internet." I almost laughed out loud when I heard the guy say that. I was like, we're AT&T. How the fuck are we running out of internet? You just buy more spectrum, right? I almost laughed in their face. And the reason why they did that at AT&T was because minutes became obsolete. Remember, data was nothing and you would get fucked because you texted too much all over your plan. And they would sell you different plans, and you would go over your minutes. Well, minutes became worthless because texting became more prevalent, and data became unlimited. So then AT&T and Verizon were like, you know what? We'll tier out the data plans. We'll make it so you have to get 1 gig and then 2 gig because they wanted to make more money, and they're trying to figure out how to make more revenue. It wasn't because they weren't profitable as a company, and if they wanna do that, that's fine, but thank goodness for T-Mobile because they said, "You know what? We're gonna change the game, and we're gonna give unlimited data," and I was like, "Here I come, T-Mobile," and I haven't left since, and you know what? Their stock they used to be the smallest of those 3, now they're throwing elbows with them because people wanted better customer service, because at a certain point, when you have a product that everybody has, it hits market saturation, so the question is, how do you separate yourself? Customer service is a huge one. The quality of your product is a huge one as well, right? And pricing. So now I've seen that play out in the wireless market, and you will absolutely see that play out in the streaming market. And you know, as a consumer, the reason why we're here is because of how shitty cable companies were. If they weren't charging us the taxes that they get charged for operating their business, they passed their taxes to the consumer. If they weren't charging us like, the funny thing is you get a DVR back in the day from a cable company and a modem, right? They would just keep renting it to you for 12 bucks a month, 10 bucks a month. Even though you might have been there for 2 or 3 years and paid for it 3 times over, they would just keep fucking you. They wouldn't do the right thing and be like, "Hey, Mr. Customer, you've been with us for 2 years. You can upgrade your modem, and we'll add some value to your rental fee and give you a better modem, or well, you could keep the one you have now because it works, and we'll reduce your bill." Wouldn't that have been fair, Mike? Right?
I guess so.
Right. So, or you know what, Mr. Customer, and they didn't want you to do this because I'm one of these guys. You know, we can make some suggestions, and you could go buy your own modem, and this is what it costs. And I remember one time I complained to Verizon about that. I was like, "Listen, I why should I like buy your modem? Like, this is a shitty modem. I could look it up online. It's $100. I could get a great modem for what I paid for this."
Right.
And once you realize that, you're like, "Yep, that's what I'm gonna do." But you've experienced it, Mike, where there's no competition in the marketplace for certain services, i.e., a Comcast, and you get shitty service.
Uh-huh.
They don't give a fuck, and they just could give 3 fucks about you because they know they have you by the balls. I mean,
I'm
I know
with you.
you're a fan of Comcast.
I'm with you,
I know
but
you love Comcast.
I think in terms of the the subject at hand, in terms of Netflix, you're going a little bit off base.
Well, no, I'm not going on base. My point of bringing that up is that Netflix and all these streaming services are born because people said, "Fuck it, I'm cutting the cord."
Right.
Fuck T-Mobile. See? She doesn't like T-Mobile. And, that's great, though. There's other choices for her to have. So, but that's my point of bringing that up, is saying that that's why the streaming services stuff went wild, because the way people consume Netflix and things like that, the younger generation isn't so attached to live TV. It's more of the people that are boomers that watch nightly news, right? Which you can get free with an antenna,
I mean,
actually.
I watch the live news every morning.
Right, but you could get it free, though, with an antenna.
Right.
You don't even need to pay for it. Literally, you could get morning news for free. Over the air, it's
Preach,
free.
dude, preach. I mean, right now in my household, we're paying for Sling TV, which is live TV service, Netflix, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime Video, Hulu, Peacock, HBO Max.
Does Amazon
Paramount
Prime count,
Plus.
though? Does Amazon Prime really count?
It does, but it
The only
doesn't.
reason I say that
what
is you're not buying Amazon Prime for the video. It's just kind of like, oh, that's nice that it's here. Like, no one's saying like,
I'm with
hey,
you. But my whole thing here is not every one of those do we pay for. Not every one of those do we use on a monthly basis. Not every one of those has our shows. It's overkill. And this whole password sharing BS is mostly because of, I hate to use this term, but I'm going to use it, FOMO, fear of missing out, because of the simple fact that a show's going to come out, a series is going to be on, you're going to have that momentary moment in time where you want to watch a singular show, and oh my God, it's only on, the service I don't have. But if individuals really chalked up,
just get it for that month, though.
That's what I'm saying. If individuals really chalked up their time, their free time, between just either school or work and doing other things, unless you are a legit TV head and you love to watch TV, that many services is uncalled for. And the fact that you said that some people don't even, they share a password, or they get a password for somebody else because they don't always watch it, then don't get it. These individuals that are password sharing,
they don't
these
have
individuals
to
that
let
are password sharing, the reason why businesses like Netflix, like HBO Plus or HBO Max, Paramount Plus, these Peacock, these companies that are streaming, the more that you pay for their service when you want to use it, the more they are able to create and give back bigger and better content.
That's the thing. Do they give back? And that's
I think they do.
Great, though. They're sometimes, well, yes. If you enjoy,
that's
service,
how they
beat
out the other competition.
And that's why Netflix.
That is the great thing, is that I just read off I'm looking at 9 different streaming services. It is not a market like WWE. It's not a market like WWE.
You need to have a serious talk in your household about your streaming services, Mike.
But what I'm saying is, like, it's not a market.
Like, Matt, I hate you.
It's not a market like WWE or anybody else you can think of, where it's like a kind of like a monopoly, like Ticketmaster, Live Nation.
Well, look at WWE.
Like, it's not
now you
like
get all the
that.
pay-per-views on Peacock.
But what I'm saying is, it's not like those kind of corporations where they're the only game in town. You've got so many streaming services that the money they bring in, the revenue they bring in, they need to put it back into the product, because they need to pump out more and more good content in order to get more and more subscribers. But the more and more that we share, just like in Napster and any other service, that Dreamcast is a great one. I don't know why this just came to me. Sega Dreamcast was an amazing, amazing console. Everybody loved it.
So amazing that it fizzled out and died.
Do you know
And they're
why
no
though?
longer-
Do you know why?
Why?
The reason why Dreamcast fizzled out and died is because the age of technology got to a point where it couldn't. People realized that they could actually burn games and play them. Nobody was buying the games anymore because the technology that they used with their CD-ROMs and their boot.
Well, whose fault was that? That didn't happen to Nintendo.
Right,
That didn't happen to N64.
It was the fault of technology surpassing Dreamcast, but it was also the fault.
Well, N64 was the equivalent, but it had a cartridge.
But it was also the fault of the consumer, who, and I am at fault. I had a stack. I would have to say 10 inches high.
God. Listen to this
of burnt
here.
CDs, and I had every Dreamcast game known to man because I was downloading the ROM and I was burning them as quick as I could. Because it was after the.
Did you say you have burned CDs?
It was shut up. It was after Dreamcast came out that CD-ROMs that were able to burn CDs came out, and that's how everybody. The Dreamcast was an amazing CD-ROM, high quality product with a controller that had another display in it. It was amazing, but it got burnt out and died because of the simple fact that people pirated the shit out of the games.
All right, listen. I think you're right about that to an extent, but I think it's kind of a little bit of a different parallel. One, you could get all these retro games for free now. People pirate and sell these old games.
Now, yes. Back then, it was revolutionary.
Emulators out the ass, but the streaming services. It reminds me of a movie and a song called "Don't Cry for Me, Argentina," because if you offer a better product, people will decide to buy it. For example, if you're a Star Wars fan, you're going to buy Disney Plus because you want to see all the series. I don't know.
Right.
Stranger Things. Name a series outside of that where it's like you must have Netflix to watch it.
Oh,
because
Orange
it's
is the
a
New
must
Black
watch.
used to be one where Orange is the New Black came on and it shot their subscription base through the roof. Adam Sandler
but that hasn't
movies
been a new one for a while.
The Adam Sandler movies now come out exclusively on Netflix because of the deal that he made with them. You have other movie titles that come out. Right now, is it on Netflix only? Is that 90s show, I believe, is Netflix only right this second. So they have some great exclusivities that they're able to get, but the only reason they're able to get these exclusivities is because of the money they've made via their subscriber base. Without their subscriber base,
and that's good. But Mike, what I'm saying is, if the subscriber base doesn't feel like their service is that fucking valuable, then they're going to pull the curtain back and really see who's actually watching on their platform.
That's they should let the consumer base.
And they're gonna eat that Johnson because that's what's happening so far. That's why they walked it back.
But that's what I'm saying. Everybody out there, anybody and everybody who is sharing passwords, stop. If you don't want the product, if you don't like the product,
no, I say fuck you. I'm sharing my password.
See, but you're a part of the problem. You're a part of the problem,
Mike. They did, and nowhere in their terms of service do they say you can't share passwords. Nowhere
I have not read the terms of service.
I pay for HBO Max every year. Nowhere does it say I can't give my sister my password.
But that's okay.
Nowhere does it say that.
It doesn't matter.
Nowhere in these terms of service does it say it. It says if they don't want it, then say it can't be done.
And that's what they're doing.
Can't be done.
And that's what they're doing now.
They walked it back. They tried to sneak it in there because they knew what would happen in their terms of service, and then people caught wind of it, and it backfired on them. And that's what they get for not being honest and upfront. They tried to be sneaky.
I'm gonna have to look. I'm gonna have to look a little bit further into this because I can't believe that they never said you can't share your passwords. I don't believe they were actively pursuing it as much as maybe they should have. But I can't believe that they would never put in there that you shouldn't be sharing your passwords.
All right, Mike.
I'll have to look into this.
I don't think you were paying attention to the first part of the show, so I'm going to re-clarify this for you. For a brief Tuesday, this is a quote. Last Tuesday, for a brief time, a Help Center article containing information that is only applicable to Chile, Costa Rica, and Peru went live in other countries. We have since updated it, and next Netflix spokesperson told Yahoo Finance. So they have taken it away. That is not getting launched, and that's my point. There's a
Right, that was
reason
them
why.
actively
They peeled it back. That's only
right,
for
they peeled
3
it.
other
No,
countries.
I understand they peeled back this fact that they were going to have it home based. I'm saying I have to look further into it to see
Right.
if in previous terms of service, which terms of service nobody ever reads because it's fucking 10 pages long.
Yep.
Did they ever specify in like an Apple agreement or anything like that nobody ever goes through? Netflix in their agreement, did they specify, an account that's supposed to be your account? Now we all
Mike,
know that when you sign up for Netflix or sign up for any account, your password is your account. Your name and your password, your email address.
You
is
can
your
make other
identity.
profiles now. You're allowed. They give you the opportunity to make profiles.
You were allowed to make up to 4 or 5 profiles.
How many? So this is what I find most telling about this, and I'm looking at this chart right now. Okay. Now it says Amazon Prime is the highest service people would use if they cancel Netflix. I say this is inflated. It says 42%, and the reason why I say it's inflated is because Amazon Prime comes with your subscription for a Prime service. If people had to individually pay for Amazon Prime, it would not be that high. I don't believe it for a second.
Possibly, I believe you're right as well. But
Yeah,
as far as the Netflix things, stop being babies. Netflix, go back after the people that are sharing your shit. Get your money, and people, if you don't want the service, don't sign up for it. Stop the bullshit.
But no one's forcing them to sign up. That's Netflix trying to be sneaky. Just make the rule.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. If it's so, we're gonna move on to some other stuff because Showtime's rapidly dissipating on this hot topic right here. But I wanted to talk about the Chinese spy balloon briefly. I sent you an article to show people the great memes and things of that nature. It fascinated me because it just shows that everything now is a political narrative. It doesn't matter what it's about. If they could use it for their gain, they're going to jump on board. And when I mean their gain, I mean politicians, both sides of the fence. In this instance, no matter who is in it president, whether it's Trump or Biden, the narrative becomes, oh, they're weak. They didn't shoot the balloon. Well, the Department of Defense, I believe, said, we're going to handle it a different way. Now, if there's one thing that's underfunded in this country, it's the military. When I say military, I'm not talking about military personnel who are underpaid, in my opinion. I'm talking about the funding for military equipment and purchases and operations. Okay. It was about $800 billion last year. Now it's like, oh my God, there's a balloon. We should shoot it down. Shoot it down. He's weak. I heard people saying stuff like, oh, well, we no longer have the number one intelligence agency in the world. One, I didn't know that we did. I guess we did because of the balloon. Our intelligence agency isn't good anymore. We need to spend more money. So then I looked it up. How much money did they spend on it last year, Mike? What do you think? Take a guess a number. I'll tell you it's in the billions.
$20.
$15.6 billion they spent on cybersecurity. Right? That's just one piece of it. So I don't know if you got the article. There's a ton of great balloon memes that were going around, and just thought they were pretty hilarious. The government's pretty much admitted there's the existence of UFOs, and people are afraid of balloons. I don't know, Mike. Were you afraid of the balloon?
A little bit. I was afraid.
Were
I
you?
didn't know what was happening. I mean, I thought
You're afraid it was going to get on your chin?
I thought maybe it would end up being a balloon, like in that one Batman movie where the Joker has the balloon that lets out all the gas and just destroys.
Did you
Gotham City?
Did you get that article I sent you? What the BuzzFeed article?
Yeah, I have it up right now.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Must be behind. Yeah, the military just shot down my gender reveal balloon. That was a good one. Um, Breaking have you ever seen this movie, Mike? Breaking. Authorities now confirm that we thought what we thought was a spy balloon was actually Grizabella on her way to Heaviside Lair, wherever the hell that is. That
What
Heaviside Lair?
is
Have you ever
that?
heard of
I
that?
don't know what that is. I have no. I don't know.
Neither do I.
By the way,
Alright, keep going down.
wait. Laura's bringing it back. She says, "Michael, we share our password," and I say, "You do. I don't."
So, hey, did anyone lose a balloon? That was kinda okay. Boo. Keep going down, keep going down. There was a few better ones. They don't need a spy balloon, they have TikTok.
Yeah.
It does sound a little strange that these Chinese are using a spy balloon to spy on us. It's not 2023. It's 2023, not 1923.
Right.
Oh my god, it's a balloon carrying the Wizard of Oz. I like this one. The US shot down the Chinese spy balloon, but as always, it was filled with licorice, gummy bears, and other stuff nobody wants, and not enough Kit Kats. First off, I disagree with the licorice. But anyway,
Black
I like
licorice is
black licorice.
delicious.
Wow, I thought you were gonna go the other way on that. Totally surprised
Oh,
me.
it's really good.
Capture the spy balloon and make it the tribute in the Macy's Day Parade.
There you go.
Personally, personally, right now, I think the Chinese spy balloon is very down to earth.
Oh.
Wow, that was a pretty good one. That's a actual audio from when they shot down the balloon. So they used the F-22 to shoot it down. Um, the reason why I think it's crazy is that everything is partisan, everything is a narrative. There's other stuff going on. Meanwhile, everybody wants to be a sheep and follow. Liza Minnelli outlived the spy balloon. Chinese spy balloon. The United States shot it down. Chinese spy balloon. Yeah, 3 days old. And it's crazy because you look up stuff and you're like, okay, apparently spy balloons, according to Yahoo News, flew over the U.S. at least 3 times during Trump admin, right? So my assertion here is someone in politics got wind of it and they decided to fucking put it out to the press and it was off to the races.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's kind of crazy why they would use something like that, a balloon, and kind of think nobody would notice.
Yeah. Even China says that they did it before. And, Trump was known for not being very into the debriefings that you get as a president. That's what they've said throughout his term. Republicans or Democrats, it didn't matter
Right.
who you are. That's the opinion that they had of him and his attention span. You might want to disagree with that. If you do, I say stop being a cuck.
Whoa.
Because people are gonna be like, no, that's fake because it's not what I want to believe. And it was just interesting to me. People were just going off on it. And I just feel like we have so much lowbrow content out there as far as you're taking the low-hanging fruit all the time. People that have big podcasts are even doing it. I'm like, wow, you're just out here for the views and the clicks. You're not genuine. I respect broadcasters like Howard Stern. And a lot of you have this preconceived notion about Howard Stern, but you know why I respect him, Mike? You wanna know why I like him?
Why?
Because you know his audience, I know his audience because we're fans. When COVID happened, he had a certain stance on it. I would be willing to say at least half of his audience were the opposite of what his stance was on COVID.
Oh yeah.
And you know what though? He stuck to it. He stuck to his conviction. And I'm not saying that because I agreed with him. I'm saying that because there's too many people out here that are afraid to tell their audience that they're wrong. And they rather capitulate and rather not lose a few views and just throw all genuineness out the window and kiss ass. I respect broadcasters that are going to say, no, you're wrong. And that's my stance. We don't have that many of those people anymore today. I think a lot of people are more concerned about their views, more concerned about their live, their likes, their shares. And if you're truly entertaining, all that shit will come eventually. Okay. And there's too many sellouts out there. Right. And I'm not saying you're a sellout, perhaps because you may disagree with me. Saying you're a sellout because you're busy kissing your audience's ass. I'm not saying be disrespectful to them or be rude or berate them, But I remember that about there's other broadcasters out there like that, but that's the most notable one we would probably all remember in my audience is Howard Stern would tell people, traditionally he was a Republican. He went Democrat for whatever reason. Now, again, whether you wanted to go that way or not and you have your own reasons, that is completely fine. But what I'm saying is he didn't do it because he wanted to do it. And a lot of his audience were against what he said. They're like, oh, I don't want to listen to you anymore, Howard Stern. You changed. You're different. He said, bye. Have a nice day. Go fuck yourself. That's real balls. That's real balls. Now, it's easier for him to do that because of the position he's in as a Howard Stern. Okay. And some other guys don't have that luxury. But that's where it comes. Are you selling out or are you not? And pretty much if you're fake, people are going to see through it eventually. They're going to. You will be exposed. You will be exposed, whether by accident or on purpose.
Or Godfrey will expose you.
I will expose you. That's right. Now, we're going to wrap it up with this. Fuck you, Mike. Hold on.
Whoa.
Started a little late today anyway, guys. We were talking about
Mike,
Chinese. We were talking about Chinese spy balloons. And I find this TikTok thing interesting. I'm going to tell you why. I keep hearing how TikTok is dangerous. TikTok is dangerous. TikTok is dangerous. And I keep asking, what's it make it any different? And no one seems to really want to be able to answer me when they're on the side of TikTok is more dangerous, right? We're the country of free speech, apparently. But this is what I think is, and this is why, this is my assertion. Your boy Mark, did this. Your boy Mark over there at Meta. By the way, I put on my VR headset, and we got to talk about that later. It's definitely, I checked out some of the rooms. It's definitely a little weird in there, but it was fun. So Facebook funded an anti-TikTok campaign through a GOP firm. Facebook's parent company, Meta, has been paying one of the most prominent Republican consultant firms to run a nationwide campaign to sow distrust. Now, this article is dated, I think, March of 2022. Why is that significant? Over the last year, all I've been hearing from the Republican side and some Democrats, how TikTok is bad for people. It's not good. Right. It's spying on you. It's farming your information. It's mining your data. And I laugh out loud when I hear that because that's what the other companies do. The truth of the matter is this. They're eating Silicon Valley's lunch. Facebook is losing ad time. They said young people favor TikTok 3 times to 1 over Facebook. That was already happening, okay? Right. It's because your platform got fucking wrecked by boomers because you decided to let the politicians start paying for ad time and using targeted advertising, using people's data, and it fucking ruined Facebook. That's your fault. Deal with it. That's called capitalism. But now, baby Mark, and he's not the only one, wants to capitulate to Congress, Senate, whoever, throw them all kinds of money, and now all of a sudden they want to do it. Now, notice how they want to ban TikTok. Now, if I was a politician, I would say, well, listen, Mark, we won't ban it, but this is what we'll do. Let's put some regulations in place since you're so concerned about this that all of you could follow at the social media companies. Whoa, we don't want to do that. We just want to get rid of TikTok. See, it's because they're mad that they're eating their lunch, not that they're concerned for you. That's what it's really about. Because if they were really concerned, there's already some shit that's been scientifically proven, that's been exposed by people that work there, that they've done that isn't good for young people. Now, one thing that they do in China with TikTok, and I think they should do it here, and I probably benefit from this, is if you scroll a certain number of minutes, TikTok forces you to take a break. But we don't do that here. Now, if we said, hey, TikTok, you can exist in the United States, but these are a set of rules you're going to have to go by. I bet you they would agree to it. I know they would, but they're not talking about anything like that. What they want to do is ban it. Now, the assertion is that TikTok, if the Chinese government demands that they turn over the data, since it's a Chinese company, they will do it. TikTok has said they store their data in the U.S., and they're based in Singapore, and they said they would not do that. Now, maybe they don't believe them for certain reasons, but I have a hard time believing that this app is a security threat, a national security threat. I say fucking bullshit. There's no way it is. Show me. Instead of telling me and talking in smoke and mirrors, Fucking show me. Show me. I'm tired of it because this is what politicians do. They take money from a company that wants to fix the market, that doesn't want capitalism and the free market to actually work, and then they say take advantage of the free market. You're propping up a monopoly that's finally getting their ass kicked. Make them fucking change their product and say, hey, why don't you make a better product? Because let's be honest, Instagram has their version of TikTok. It's called Reels, right, Mike? Isn't that what it's called?
Yes.
It's not doing as well. I wonder why. Because your young subscriber base is going somewhere else. That's all he's trying to do. You know, Meta's recent earnings report said that Facebook active users dropped by almost 500,000 at the end of the year. So they're panicking and he's trying to fix the market. Fuck that. Don't sit here, just be honest about it. And you can't, because that goes against antitrust laws, which I believe. Well, we're facilitating it, and Republicans in this case are taking money. They were all anti-Silicon Valley until they started giving them money. And that's another point I want to point out. You'll see certain politicians, doesn't matter the party, they'll be anti this, anti that, and then a lobbyist comes in. Well, TikTok has lobbyists too. So now they're going to supposedly take a vote on whether they should ban it or not. So we're going to ban an app here. So basically, if they really cared about the effects of these apps long term and what they're doing or not doing to your kids, then say, hey, Congress, let's put in some laws. But the reason why they won't do that is because they want to allow the American companies to do it, right? And that's the truth of the matter. Now, people that use TikTok, they're not using it because it's American or not American or whatever it is. They're using it because they're more entertained by that platform, is pretty much what I get from it. Isn't that why you think people prefer it, Mike?
Yeah.
And you can make comments on there, but it's a little less, I would say, combative. It still can be. Now, it does produce other things. Like you see people making cheap, trash, lowbrow bullshit content to get to 1,000 so they could go live. And there's so many idiots on the live. It makes me laugh sometimes. Like, we're going to talk about this next week, Mike. There's this lady on there that fascinates me. She has this thing. She has this marriage book. She says, no kissing for 3 months. Like, that's her thing. Like, if you want a real good relationship, I'm like, yeah, that's not happening. I'm not waiting 3 months, lady. No way. No, I don't care who you are. You're the hottest woman on earth. I'm not waiting 3 months. You know what I mean? So, I just think it's funny. And this isn't like, you could just read the tea leaves and people are saying, like, who benefits from it getting banned? Like, we've seen the documentaries on Netflix. We've seen the reporting come out. We've seen how it affects young teenagers. I just imagine, Mike, if this happened when Facebook came about and Tom went to Congress and said, hey, listen, I need you to ban Facebook. MySpace is getting fucked up. I need you to take my 200 grand, or Friendster before that. Like, this is the cycle of these types of technologies. Vine died. We can name social media platforms that didn't adapt and died, right?
Right.
Like, they tried to buy Snapchat. Snapchat said no to Facebook. Facebook bought Instagram, that used not to be owned by them. It's part of Meta now. And they also bought WhatsApp, which is the most widely used messaging app outside of Messenger. And what people don't realize about Facebook is they're full of shit. And Meta is full of shit because if you go to certain towns around the world, your only source of news is Facebook. And I'm not joking. Like, Facebook has put themselves in countries where they're the internet. Like, they're the actual internet. They're the actual intranet. Like, not Google, it's Facebook. Like, the whole thing. And it's not like that here. So they make a lot of money overseas. But in countries like this, they get regulation. And so they're not pushing for regulation. They're not pushing for, to improve the space. They're pushing to eliminate competition. That's what it comes down to. I don't buy the I mean, Mike, what do you say? Do you think TikTok is a national security risk?
No. I think it's exactly what you're saying. And it's other social media platforms getting pissed off that they're taking over. and so quickly out of nowhere, and they use whatever funds they have to try and squash.
Yeah. Now Trump and Biden weighing how to ensure that information about America to who the service doesn't land in the hand of Beijing. What the fuck are they going to learn? You banned it on government phones. Are they going to learn that Matt has follows 100 milfs on TikTok? They going to learn that Mike likes watching people eat weird foods and the one chip challenge on TikTok. Yeah. What are they going to learn? What? Say it. Stop talking in
But
these fucking shadows. You
but
guys.
the thing is also, I'm sorry, but the thing is also, the government never comes out about all these other social media platforms that I mean, Apple had to stop them from tracking you by giving people the option to say, I don't want this app to track me outside of the app, because every social media platform out there tracks your user base because you're what they're selling. You're the product. So
100%. And you know what? I'm okay with that. As of right now, I'm okay with it. If I felt like, that's where the transparency needs to be. That's where the problem is. A lot of us know the product, but what are we giving up to be the product? And that's what they need to be better about. This is the price that you're paying, that you're giving to be the product. We're giving you this product back for free. And the problem was a lot of times people didn't realize that they were the product. And some people are saying, I'm opting out. And that's okay. That's fine. Right. And that's capitalism. That's how you keep the market moving and the industry moving. When you put regulation in and start banning competition, that's when innovation gets stale. And that's not American. That's fucking communist, which is ironic if you think about it, right?
right.
So it's communism and it's not even really communism, but that's what people will say here in the US. That's the government trying to control the market. The government has no place in markets here all the time. The government has no place in markets. They should let decide. Businesses should decide until one drops about $4 million into our coffers or more, or then we take it to the floor for them. This is what people mean when they say the political system works for rich people, not poor people. And look how quickly they're getting to talk about this. And if they ban this, there's going to be a lot of people that are pissed off. There's a lot of people that actually make money off of TikTok that have, built their brand off of TikTok. And essentially what they're doing is they're going to also hurt the other creators and hurt their free market, because now they'll be forced to go to one less platform. You'll have to do YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat or whatever you may choose to do. It is hurting the market if you're doing that for content creators that are from the United States. If someone was a true national security threat, you don't think the FBI would be up their ass? Am I right, Mike?
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
it's not like, uh, and they haven't given us one fucking concrete reason to why they need to do it. I mean, I have you kept up on this all, Mike, or you just get most of this from me?
Most of it from you. I've seen a little here and there on TikTok.
You probably dismissed it though because you thought it was silly, though, right? You're like, "This
Right.
is silly."
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, and the only reason I'm bringing it up is because now that there's going to possibly be a vote on it. Eh, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said untrusted Chinese apps should be removed from the U.S. App Store. Okay, whatever. That was the whole thing with Huawei and certain Chinese products. They said they were spying on you. Okay, I mean, if it's giving me a better product, I mean, listen, it's okay for you to make cheap shit over there and sell it to us at a profit. That's okay. They couldn't possibly manufacture stuff in China. The government couldn't, and then maybe put a chip in that stuff. But it's okay for that though. Like, do they make Dell laptops in America, Mike? Last time I checked, or do they make that in China? I'm not sure.
A lot of shit's in
Uh,
China.
Yeah, it's okay for them to make all kinds of electronics out there. They could put all kinds of chips in there, little cameras if they fucking wanted to. You're not worried about that because it helps the billionaire keep his pocket fat, and he could get the cheap labor to make his pocket more fat. But all that great shit. It's all capitalism. It's all good until now. I'm not fucking buying it. It's bullshit. I'm so tired of this. And this is shit people are going to be upset about. And guess what? The other apps are dying off, mostly Facebook to a certain extent, and they have to reinvent themselves. And he's going there with an open hand saying, "Hey, I need help." Now, I think the reason why we should make regulations is this, because the other side of the argument is, well, China won't let us use our apps there, which is true, right? I
Right.
agree. But then, no problem. If you want to go tip for tat, then the Chinese apps aren't allowed to be used here either. WeChat and all those ones. Cut off that. And then if they want to make money off of people in this country like the other social media apps, we just put in regulation. But that's the crux of the matter, Mike, is that they don't really want regulation. They don't want that conversation to happen. I think something like, you know, you have to take a scrolling break after 15 minutes is a beneficial thing. They do that in China for TikTok. I don't think that hurts anybody, do you?
No.
So, there you go. That's all I got for today, folks. A lot of passion today. I had to teach Mike about password sharing and tell him that you teach him to stop being a little bitch about it.
Wow.
And, we'll keep track of this TikTok saga. But, we want to talk more politics, but we want to talk about shit really that's like affects all of us, right? And like
Right.
that TikTok one is a beaming example to me. It's not really about TikTok. It's about the way they're operating and trying to treat the situation. That's really pissing me off about it. If TikTok was gone tomorrow, my life would go on. I'm not going to go in the street to protest about it. With that being said, folks, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Thanks for staying a little bit of overtime, Mike. That's what I was telling Mike after you guys, because he was going to send me like a picture of it. I'm not in the studio, so usually in the studio, off camera, they're like this, like throw their hands up in the air. So that's the end of that. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. You know where to find us. You can find us in all the platforms for podcasts. If you like to hear the audio version, if you want to see the video version, youtube.com/play toxic, www.facebook/taking it deep, and all that stuff. And this is the Godfrey, not saying goodbye, just saying take it deep.